Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day wherever they are. Um, like I say in all my videos, I'm not responsible if anybody gets hurt. It's just my opinion. Like I say in this, I'm making a scenario of the people who I think wouldn't survive during shit in the fan. So I'm going to make a video of that. It's just my opinion. Like I said, I'm not responsible if anybody gets hurt. It's just my opinion. So these are people who I think wouldn't survive during shit and fan. It's not in any order. It's just my opinion. And if you disagree, that's fine. You can tell me what you think afterwards, or you can leave a comment down. So yeah, I'm gonna make some videos on shit in the fan. That means in case there's a natural disaster, man-made, like a hurricane, earthquake, tornado, snowstorm, any kind of disaster. It doesn't have to be a weather. It can be anything like an EMP or war or whatever. So yeah. So today yeah, I said that. So anyway, the people who I think wouldn't survive anything like that would be number one. It wouldn't be in any order actually. Would be people who are children, like people who are babies, infants, toddlers, anybody who is that little would not survive during shit in the fan because they wouldn't know how to take care of themselves. Babies and toddlers and kids really don't know how to take care of themselves that I know of. Sometimes I like to move my butt back. Excuse me. Like to get comfortable. It's good being comfortable during making a video. So I try to be comfortable. So like I said, infants, babies won't unless the parent or the guardian or someone who has food, formula, diapers and stuff to keep them entertained, then maybe they would survive. But I don't know. It depends how if people are, have the supplies. Another one is people who are severely disability, like if you're very disability, if you have a severe disability, then probably you wouldn't survive unless you can take care of yourself. Then that's kudos for you. I think that's terrific if you can take care of yourself. Another thing is if you're very, very old, if you're like in your 90s or something. I'm not saying all old people can't survive shit in a fan or a natural disaster. I'm not saying all old people can't survive. I bet a lot of people who are in good health, they could. My mom's 88. I'm saying people who aren't. I'm saying people who are not. Another thing is people who are not in good health, who don't really take good care of themselves, who are lazy, like people who are severe lazy, who thinks the world owes them something. They're not going to make it. Those people will not survive because they think the world owes them. Other people won't survive is homeless people because they're living on the streets as is. A lot of homeless people would not survive. I'm just thinking of these tops of my head. So if you have other people, you can just let me know. Like I said, homeless people who are, who live out in the streets. Also people who think they're entitled, narcissistic people who aren't going to make it. People who think the world owes them a thing or two, narcissistic, or people who are psychopaths, because I'd be very scary of being around a psychopath, sociopath, because they're kind of mentally ill. People who are mentally ill, people who have mental illness, like people with schizophrenia, and people who are mentally ill. I'm not saying all mentally ill people won't survive shit in the fan, but a lot of people won't because they won't be taking their medicines. The people who are into taking medicine, and they are always described and they take their medicine, then that's great. But if you don't, you're screwed. And sometimes I do swear in my videos or swear. So, like if you don't take your medicine, people who don't take your medicine on time, also people who, if the if there's an EMP or illness, or people like what happens like in the movie The Stand. That's just a movie from The Stand is Stephen King. His movie is about an illness and wipes off 99% of the population. Do we know something like that? Like COVID or something? If COVID came, there was something worse than COVID, and people were on people who are on those machines to keep them alive. That's another thing. People don't think, what are you going to do with people who are trying to stay alive for medicines, and they're trying to use medicine, or people who are on I'm trying to think, I have ADHD, people who are on buildings or on things to keep them alive, uh, you know yeah, things that people trying to keep them alive, oxygen to keep people alive, people who go on that's what I'm looking, machines, people who go on machines to stay alive for numerous things, to keep them alive for breathing, or heart, for the heart. If they're the people who are like people who are life life pursuit center, to keep them alive. If they were in a people who were in a coma or something, people keeping them alive, or babies in incubators, or anybody who's trying to stay alive in incubators, or any machines, people who trying to stay alive on machines. Uh, I don't think are going to survive, because you need electricity to work. And if an EMP or a disease comes, like in the movie The Stand, or whatever, or any other place, like I said, The Stand, or a disease like what we're going through now, which is what we had, and who knows what's going to go through, what's going to happen next. Other diseases might come, and if you're not vaccinated, people who aren't vaccinated or don't believe in vaccination, other people won't survive, or some religions who do not believe in on medicines, like they say, I refuse to be on medicines, it's against my religion, like Jehovah's Witness, or other religions that don't believe in medicine, and they don't believe in transfusions. People don't believe in that kind of stuff. People think, they'd rather die than have their children, doing stuff. People don't believe in medicine. People who don't want to be treated. People who are heavily overweight, who don't, take care of themselves, not willing to exercise. People who, there's a lot of people who won't survive. People who are severely handicapped. I'm not saying all people who have disabilities or learning disabilities. I'm talking about the people who are, have to be, also the people who are from neck down, paraplegic, or the thing for the neck down, will not survive because no one will feed them, change them. People who are in nursing homes, or people who rely on other people help them, will not survive shit in the fan. They will not survive more than a couple days, because it takes 3 days without water, and they won't survive if it gets hot in these nursing homes or any of these places, and there's no air conditioning. People rely on heavy medicines to survive. Won't survive unless they, prepare. People won't survive there. People who won't survive in hot climates if they don't have a lot of water or stuff. You could go on and on. People who don't prepare. That's it. Also people who think people don't prepare, people who, like I've said before, who think they're entitled, people who are spoiled, people who are spoiled brats, who think the world revolves around them, so the rich who don't prepare, with those big cars and big houses in Beverly Hills, New York, or Europe, and they think, they can be buying. You think if shit hits the fan, the people are going to leave unless they don't have any family or friends or something. They'll just say, screw that, I'm going to leave, and they'll just leave. You know, people aren't going to stick around if there was a major disaster or something worse than COVID or something. That's the word I'm thinking. Um, they'll be gone, and those rich people will be on their ass, figuring out what they're going to do. So, and people who have to take, like I said, medicine to keep around alive, people who take AIDS medicine, people who do all these medicines that they need to survive and they don't have it, they'll eventually die or go through withdrawal. People who are addicts won't survive because they're going through withdrawal and die. So a lot of them will die. People in prisons won't survive because no one will let them out. You know, people in rehab centers probably wouldn't survive because unless they're, gone through the steps and, went through it, then they might. But people going through withdrawal from drugs or alcoholism, and people who are alcoholics, and all these people will not survive, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. So until my next video, take care and bye.